In today's Relationship 911, we're talking about
political differences in relationships.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I'm Jan.
And I'm Monika.
Elijah, what is today's question?
This question is from Sarah, and Sarah says, my husband is a Republican and I'm a Democrat. We're already arguing about the elections. I'm afraid for our marriage. What should I do?
So this may be a short one because my answer is pretty quick. If you're talking politics and it's impacting your relationship, maybe you shouldn't talk politics, especially in today's divided climate. It's tough. I mean, people are really seeing things one way or the other, and there's no in between. And what I'm wondering is, let's just kind of broaden this conversation.
Okay.
So let's say there's a relationship and I want to have kids and you don't. Or I want to
Bye.
Okay. I want to practice a certain religion and you want.
Bye.
Right?
Yep.
So even though we do our best to serve relationships and make relationships work, I think there's certain conversations that if you're not in alignment, if you're not have an agreement, then maybe that's not the right relationship.
Yeah, so I think that you've hit two things so far. First of all, talking anything where you have a complete opposing opinion about is probably not going to go well in relationship over an extended period of time. Unless you love to argue and it totally turns you on and goes to the sex. Because otherwise, it's not a great thing. And in relationships where you have ideas about things and you want to share it, I think it's very important to have a voice. I think it's very important to have an opinion. I think it's very important to speak your truth. But if it's causing friction or an inadequacy in your relationship, well, number one, you could look at it as, is it the right relationship for me? Because if you could be in a relationship with someone who sees the way you see without having to convince them of your point of view, then the whole expression of yourself isn't a challenge. But when you join in a relationship and you discover that you have very vast chasm between your decisions and between your opinions, it leads to a lot of arguments, a lot of wanting to be seen for your point of view. And in my personal opinion, that's not an easy to navigate relationship. It's possible. There are people that have done that. There are also people that have been having one opinion and in relationship learn to see it the other way.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's an easy road. I don't think it's a good easy journey.
It's not an easy journey, but let's just try and bring some love and compassion to this conversation and not be so black and white of it's not going to work. So one of the things...
I'm not saying it's not going to work.
Okay.
I'm just saying that the chances of it working with ease and grace
Yes.
and a sense of camaraderie and togetherness is less than when you have similar opinions to
When
the
you're in
people that
alignment.
you're with.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally. Okay.
Now, I also think that in leadership roles and in business, conflict and having differences of opinions is what elevates innovation.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. Not as beautifully as you just said.
You know.
But what I was going to say is one of the principles that we teach, it's a foundational principle, is your way is not the only way. So your way is not the only way. So the way you experience life, the way you do anything is not going to be exactly the same way as other people will do it or see it or experience it. And your view of politics is one way and your partner may have a different one. Now, if you can be okay that your way is not the truth and their way is not the truth, it's just their opinion, and you can allow them to have their opinion and not try and have them change their opinion because it's different than yours, or not have them try and change their way because it's different from yours, then you have an opportunity to make a relationship work.
Yeah, I think so.
So in conclusion, listen, right now in today's political climate, if you and your partner see things totally differently, that may be a challenge. So just be aware that you're taking on an opportunity for growth. And you're taking on maybe not the easiest relationship, a foundation for the easiest relationship. I actually would use that as an opportunity to look at other things in your life and go, are we in alignment in terms of religion? Are we in alignment in terms of family, in terms of babies, in terms of traveling, in terms of, how are we going to handle these things that come up in the future? Yeah. And this may be the one thing that you see differently. And if that's the case, then really practice your way is not the only way.
Yes.
Great.
And if it's not the one thing, well then explore all those others and see whether or not you are fit to be with each other.
Great. So hopefully that answered your question. If you have thoughts, if you have comments below that are not political in nature, please leave them below. Our politics are all about love, and that's where we stay focused on. So please comment below, and you can also click subscribe if you want more Relationship 911s.